Welcome to the Growing Tall Poppies podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nat Green, and I'm so excited to have you join me as we discuss what it means to navigate your way through post-traumatic growth and not just survive, but to thrive after trauma. Through our podcast, we will explore ways for you to create a life filled with greater purpose, self-awareness, and a deep inner peace. Through integrating the many years of knowledge and professional experience, as well as the wisdom of those who have experienced trauma firsthand, we will combine psychology, accelerated approaches, coaching, and personal experience to assist you to learn, to grow, and to thrive. I hope to empower you to create deeper awareness and understanding and stronger connections with yourself and with others, whilst also paving the way for those who have experienced trauma and adversity to reduce their suffering and become the very best versions of themselves in order to thrive. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Welcome back to Growing Tall Poppies. I'm your host, Dr. Nat Green, and today I bring you episode 35, and we're continuing our journey through the 7 trauma archetypes of transformation. So excited to have you join me, and in this mini episode we'll explore the resilient sage, a powerful archetype known for its deep wisdom, grounded resilience, and ability to turn pain into profound insight. If you missed episode 33, which is the episode where I introduced the archetypes of transformation and their purpose, then I suggest you make the time to listen as soon as you can. And then to the last episode, number 34, on the Phoenix Riser. I encourage you to listen to it for a full understanding of how each archetype can illuminate different aspects of your post-traumatic growth journey. Today, we'll dive deep into a different type of resilience and what it means to embody the resilient sage, one who harnesses wisdom and reflection to navigate and grow through adversity. We will explore the resilient sage's strengths and their challenges, and give you actionable strategies to access this archetype's gifts and to assist you to accelerate your move from trauma into post-traumatic growth and to thrive. So let's get started. The resilient sage is a symbol of inner wisdom and quiet strength and represents a well of knowledge and insight born from lived experience. If you connect with this archetype, you've likely experienced hardship, but you've found a way to reflect, to learn, and to grow from those experiences. And you likely have a reflective and thoughtful nature, valuing the lessons learned from your trauma. You're the person people come to for advice because your perspective is often wise, measured, and very compassionate. But being a sage is not just about being wise for others. It's also about embracing your own growth and using that wisdom to build a life of meaning and of purpose. The sage relies on insight and perspective, drawing from life lessons and deep reflective thinking to guide their journey. Like all the archetypes, the resilient sage brings a unique blend of both strengths and challenges. And today we'll explore what it means to embody this archetype in depth. So what makes the resilient sage truly extraordinary? Let's explore the core strengths that you might recognise if this archetype speaks to you. Number 1, deep and profound insight and wisdom. The resilient sage has an incredible ability to reflect on experiences and extract deep meaning from them. This wisdom often translates into understanding patterns both in your life and in the world around you. You likely see connections that others might miss and are able to offer thoughtful and compassionate perspectives. The resilient sage has a profound understanding of life's complexities and often sees the big picture in ways that others might not. They draw meaning from hardship and use their experiences to gain insight, wisdom, and perspective. Now, a tip to assist you to access this strength is to take time to reflect on the lessons that you've learned from past experiences and set aside regular time for reflection. This could be through journaling, meditation, or just quiet contemplation. Create a ritual where you ask yourself, what did I learn today? And how can this knowledge serve me or serve others? And these moments of introspection can truly deepen your understanding of your experiences. You might like to create a wisdom journal where you jot down reflections on what each challenge has actually taught you. Write these insights down, and this can reinforce your understanding and remind you of your innate wisdom during your tougher times. Number 2, grounded stability and resilience. The sage's wisdom is paired with an inner calm that helps you navigate life's challenges with grace. This stability often makes you a source of comfort for others, and you know how to weather storms without being easily shaken. Sages are typically calm and centered, with a steadying influence that can be reassuring to others. They've learned how to find balance and clarity, even in chaotic situations. It can be an anchor for both themselves and for those around them. A tip for you to access this strength is to practice grounding techniques and exercises that help you feel stable and present. These could include some deep breathing or mindfulness techniques, perhaps spending time in nature, or even a simple practice like placing your hand on your heart and reminding yourself, I am here, I am safe, and I am steady. Develop a daily practice, such as meditation or quiet time in nature, in order to help you to maintain your inner calm. When emotions start to rise, take a few moments to connect with this sense of stability and remind yourself of the calm within. Thirdly, we have patience and resilience. The resilient sage knows that healing takes time. They have a natural ability to be patient with the journey, trusting the process and recognizing that meaningful growth does not happen overnight. In order to access this strength, when you feel pressured or frustrated with your progress, pause and remind yourself that real growth takes time. Celebrate small wins along the way and trust that each step you take is a part of your journey. Consider keeping a growth timeline where you track your milestones, no matter how small they seem, to see how far you've actually come. Fourthly, empathy and compassion for others and the ability to see beyond self. Having learned from your own suffering, the resilient sage is often deeply compassionate toward others. You understand that everyone has their own story and struggles, and you can hold space for people in a way that feels safe and nurturing. Sages are often empathetic and have a unique capacity to understand and to help others. Stemming from their own experiences of growth, they use their insights to inspire, to uplift, and to support those around them. A tip for you to access this strength is to use your ability to empathise by offering support to someone else. Mentorship or simply listening can provide healing for you as well as for others. Sharing your wisdom can reinforce your understanding of it, so take the time to connect and to give back in ways that feel natural for you. Use your empathy as a tool for connection, but also set healthy boundaries for yourself. It's easy for the sage to become the emotional anchor for everyone else. So remember that you can be compassionate without taking on others' pain. A mantra like, I can offer support without sacrificing my peace, can help you balance empathy with self-care. As we know, every archetype comes with its own set of challenges, and the sage is no different. Some of the struggles you may face include overthinking and analysis paralysis. Your reflective nature can sometimes turn into overanalyzing, causing you to get stuck in your own thoughts. You may even feel paralyzed when trying to make decisions, fearing that you haven't considered every possible outcome. A challenge might be emotional detachment. Because you've learned to stay grounded and composed, you may struggle to fully connect with your own emotions. And this can lead to a sense of numbness or feeling like you're observing life from a distance rather than actively participating in it. A challenge can be overgiving and burnout. Your natural empathy can make it really easy for you to prioritize others' needs over your own. You might find yourself depleted from constantly giving and feeling guilty about taking time to recharge. There can also be isolation in reflection. Sages often need solitude, but this can sometimes lead to feelings of isolation or a lack of connection with others. And one of the challenges can be around neglecting personal needs. With a focus on understanding and helping others, sages may sometimes put others' needs before their own, ultimately leading to burnout. Here are some actionable strategies to navigate these challenges and to maximize the gifts of the resilient sage in order for you to truly thrive. You must learn to embrace a few key principles. 1. Embrace mindful action. To combat your overthinking, practice taking small, intentional steps rather than waiting for the perfect decision. Remind yourself that growth comes from action, not endless contemplation. So a practical exercise might be for you to set a timer for 5 minutes and write down one small action that you can take today to move yourself forward. And when the timer ends, commit to taking that step, even if it feels imperfect. Number 2, trust your intuition over overthinking. Practice recognizing when reflection turns into overthinking. Set aside specific times for decision making or for reflecting. And when time's up, trust your intuition. Remind yourself that making a choice is better than being stuck in contemplation. So a practical exercise might be when you catch yourself overthinking, to use a grounding technique like some deep breathing, just to get back in the moment. Limit your reflection time. Try giving yourself 15 minutes to think things through and then make a decision, trusting that you'll adjust as needed. Number 3, reconnect with your emotions. It's really important for the sage to drop out of their head and into their heart space. Practices like somatic experiencing, expressive art, or even a simple body scan can help you to tune into your emotions and fully process them. An exercise for you might be to take 5 minutes each day to do a body check-in. Ask yourself, what physical sensations am I experiencing? And where am I experiencing them? And what emotions might just be tied to these feelings? And allow yourself to feel without the judgment. Number 4, balance solitude with connection. While introspection is absolutely valuable, balance it with connection in order to avoid feeling isolated. Find a like-minded community or support group where you can share and learn from others without sacrificing your need for reflection. So, an exercise you might want to do is to aim to connect with someone you trust at least once a week, just to share your reflections. This could be through a weekly phone call, joining a support group, or spending time with a friend. Even brief interactions can remind you that you're not alone. If you want to be part of our Thrive After Trauma community, head over to our Facebook group and request to join. It's a private community and we would absolutely love to have you in there. Number 5, set clear boundaries for self-care. Resilient sages sometimes focus so much on supporting others that they overlook their own needs. Set clear boundaries and prioritize self-care as a way to recharge and show up fully for others. Your compassion is a gift, but it needs to be balanced with caring for yourself. Practice saying no when necessary and view it as a way to preserve your energy for the things and the people that truly matter. So, something for you to do is perhaps to set up a self-care plan with at least one non-negotiable you time activity each day. This could be a morning meditation, a relaxing tea break, or a hobby you enjoy. Make this time just as important as any other commitment. And write down 3 ways you can say no kindly but firmly. For example, I'd love to support you, but I really need to prioritize my own well-being right now. Practice these phrases until they feel natural. To demonstrate the resilient sage, let me share a story about someone who embodies this archetype in real life. This story highlights how the resilient sage's journey is one of balance between wisdom and action, compassion for others and self-compassion, and stability and emotional presence. Let me introduce you to Davina, a true resilient sage. Davina had experienced significant trauma throughout her life, including the loss of her parents at a young age in a car accident and a series of painful personal relationships. When I met her, she was incredibly insightful, able to articulate the many lessons she had learned from her trauma with both clarity and depth. But there was something missing. I noticed an emotional disconnect that left her feeling stuck in her healing journey. During our work together, Davina began to realize that while she understood her trauma on a cognitive level, she hadn't given herself permission to fully feel the pain and the grief that still lingered beneath the surface. She was afraid that if she opened the floodgates to her emotions, she would be overwhelmed and unable to cope. So, to help Davina reconnect with her emotions, we incorporated mindfulness practices into her healing journey. She began meditating regularly, using breath work to ground herself in the present moment. Slowly but surely, she began to feel safe enough to explore her emotions, first in small doses, and then more fully as she grew more comfortable with the process. Through mindfulness practices and then emotional processing and some coaching, Davina began to reconnect with her emotions. She allowed herself to grieve, to feel the sadness, the anger, and the hurt that she had long kept at arm's length in order to maintain her own sense of safety. Over time, Davina began to release the pain that had been stored in her body for years. She cried for the first time in many months, allowing herself to grieve for the losses she had experienced. She also began to express her emotions more openly in her relationships, no longer feeling the need to hide behind her intellect or her wisdom. As Davina embraced her emotional world, processed her stored emotions, and released her years of pain and hurt, she found that her own wisdom deepened. She was no longer just reflecting on her trauma and analysing it. She was fully engaging with it, feeling it and allowing it to inform her choices in a more holistic and healthy way. And Davina's journey as a resilient sage was one of balancing her natural insight with her emotional vulnerability. By allowing herself to feel the full spectrum of her emotions, she was finally able to release the trauma that had been holding her back and to step into a new chapter of her life with greater clarity and inner peace. Today, Davina continues to share her wisdom with others, and she does so from a place of deep emotional connection. She is not just guiding others from her head, she's guiding them from her heart. Do you see yourself in the resilient sage? Does the resilient sage resonate with your experience? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your reflections. Reach out to me on social media and you'll see how to connect with me in the show notes, or go over and join our Thrive After Trauma community on Facebook in order to connect with others who are also exploring their archetypes. And if you haven't done so yet, then don't forget to take the Trauma Archetypes quiz. I'll put the link in the comments, and I'd love for you to go and share it far and wide with anyone you know who might also be really keen to find out which archetype that they most identify with. Thank you again for spending this time with me exploring the resilient sage. In our next episode, we'll look at the empowered trailblazer, an archetype that uses vision and leadership to create new paths forward. Make sure to tune in for more insights and growth strategies. So until next time, remember that your wisdom is your strength and you have everything you need to continue growing and thriving. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me in this episode of Growing Tall Poppies. It is my deepest hope that today's episode may have inspired and empowered you to step fully into your post-traumatic growth so that you can have absolute clarity around who you are, what matters the most to you, and to assist you to release your negative emotions and regulate your nervous system so you can fully thrive. New episodes are published every Tuesday, and I hope you'll continue to join us as we explore both the strategies and the personal qualities required to fully live a life of post-traumatic growth and to thrive. So if it feels aligned to you and really resonates, then I invite you to hit subscribe, and it would mean the world to us if you could share this episode with others who you feel may benefit too. You may also find me on Instagram at Growing Tall Poppies and Facebook, Dr. Natalie Green. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to look for the lessons and to learn and increase your ability to live the life you desire and deserve. So for now, stay connected, stay inspired, stand tall like the tall poppy you are, and keep shining your light brightly in the world. Bye for now.